Careblazer, have you ever had a question that you wanted an answer to about dementia or caregiving, but instead of having to watch a full video, you just wanted to be able to get an easy to understand paragraph from a trusted expert that you could just read? Well, if that is you, you have to look no further. I am sitting down with one of the co-founders of Rune and the tech geniuses to help make this a possibility for caregivers all around the world. He is going to show us a simple, free feature that any dementia caregiver could use. You literally type in a question like, how do I get my loved one to bathe? How do I get somebody with dementia to take medications? What are the new treatments for Alzheimer's disease? Any question you have, you can literally type it into this database that he's created and you can read an answer. And it's not an answer based on random stuff on the internet. It's an answer based on experts who are currently working in the field of dementia. And it is a nicely written paragraph, several paragraphs, as well as some videos and ways to make you take your learning further. I'm so excited to share this with you. I'm actually going to be pulling up my phone and showing you my screen of how I did it during the interview. Like he's walking me through the steps on what to follow and how to do it. And it was so simple, so easy. I can't wait for you to see this. Let's dive in and meet our very special guest today. Careblazers, welcome to today's episode. I have a super special guest that I'm excited to introduce you to, and he's going to share an amazing free resource that you can start using today to look up basically answers to any dementia question that you have. So first of all, welcome Arun. Thank you so much for being here. Would you mind taking a few moments to just explain who you are and your background?
Yeah, sure. Natalie, it's a real pleasure to meet you like this, and I'm really happy to be here and talk to you. I am one of the co-founders of Rune. I'm the technical co-founder. My own journey here is really because my father has dementia. There were like maybe a trifecta of issues that caught my family completely by surprise. First is my father did have a stroke. He had a transient ischemic attack, which is really correlated with vascular dementia, right? And second, he had a pretty brutal COVID infection shortly after that. And after that time, we got diagnosis of Alzheimer's, which often occurs with vascular dementia. And so the landscape for my family was really topsy-turvy for a while. It was difficult to see my dad lose memories, become confused, sometimes have temper tantrums, and we've been on this journey just like everybody else has. And for long, my mother, my sister, and I were really caring for my father, trying to figure out what the best set of things to do for him, right from taking his car keys away, which was a real struggle, to making sure he moving around carefully, all sorts of things like that. So I really empathize personally with anybody that's going through this and really value some of your videos here that have really helped people out.
Yeah, Careblazers will remember a couple of months ago, we had Dr. Lang on the show from Rune, and he also had his own personal experience with his own father with dementia. And I do think it means a lot to see people who are really trying to offer lots of dementia resources and support actually be led by and created by people who have that personal impact, because you get it. You understand how confusing and overwhelming it can be. And it also means that as you start to, grow Rune and put more features into it, you're actually thinking about it from the personal caregiver standpoint as well. I think that's what's made this app so amazing and so helpful for many caregivers. So yeah, thank you for sharing that personal story. So one of the things that I've noticed, so I've been on Rune, lots of our Careblazers have been on Rune. It's a wealth of knowledge, amazing one-stop shop to get lots of information. One of the things that many Careblazers face is almost like, I just need an answer. Like, how do I ask a question and get a quick answer from somebody who's trusted? Like, my mom won't get in the shower right now. What do I do? Or my loved one's not taking their medications. What's going to happen? And a lot of times when they go to the internet to search for that information, it's like 20 results on the first page, very overwhelming. What can you trust? What can't you trust? And so that's one of the reasons Rune is so great. But I didn't realize it could get any better, but it sounds like maybe things have gotten better at Rune. So can you just share like what has happened since the last time Dr. Lang has been on the channel? What's going on?
Yeah. So firstly, I myself have been in that position where we just want to know an answer. Certainly my mother has, and my sister has. And like a lot of people, we turn to searching on the internet for that. And definitely the answers that come back are in a lot of different places. Some of them are from hospital networks, some of them are just general search results, some of them are even from blogs, right? And as you know, Rune is all about corralling experts. That includes folks like Dr. Lang, MDs, and folks like you. You're also on Rune. So we have multiple perspectives recorded in videos. And so the most recent feature we've launched is called Instant Answer, right? And it is a way for you to ask a question and get an answer back that's distilled and stitched together all these perspectives. So you may ask a question like, what should I do to prevent falls? And you'll get an answer from somebody that's definitely been in the trenches as a caregiver, somebody that is a noted medical expert. And a lot of these show up together in an AI-based summary answer. And you can go below to watch the videos where these experts are quoted from.
Oh, interesting. So basically, it sounds like the AI is now becoming a big feature of Rune.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, super cool. I would like to see how this works. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Like, let's put it to the test. Like, if this is really good, like, let's see how this works, because there's nothing more overwhelming and frustrating when a caregiver tries to find answers and help, and then they go and they search, and the thing they're looking on is making it more difficult for them. So let's see how easy this is. I'm going to pull up the Rune app. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. All right, Careblazers, let's see what's going on here. Okay. So I could just ask it any question and see what happens.
Yes.
Okay, let's say I am struggling with my loved one trying to get to sleep. I know lots of Careblazers face that kind of struggle.
Yep.
So if I ask, like, how can I get my loved one to sleep? I opened up the Rune app. What do I do?
Type ask a question.
Okay, it actually just says ask a question right up here. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Okay, so ask a question. Okay, it says start your question with what or how. So I'm going to say, how can I get my loved one to sleep?
Yes.
Okay, how can I get my loved one to sleep? And then just hit the ask button.
And then just hit the ask button.
Oh my, look at that. Okay, so I'm familiar with Rune before this feature has been released. And so typically when I would search for things, it would just be a bunch of different videos to search through. But now it's literally putting out a nice, like, written information for caregivers to read. And what I'm loving about it, even though I haven't read it totally yet, is that sometimes, like, Careblazers have a hard time listening to audio or watching a video, especially when their loved one is around, because their loved one might hear it or they don't have their ear pods ready. And so being able to just read something, I think, is a huge value add.
Yeah.
So to improve sleep for someone with dementia, it's recommended to establish a consistent sleep routine known as sleep hygiene. This routine should signal the body that it's time to wind down and prepare for sleep, possibly including activities like a warm bath, a warm cup of tea, or engaging in calming activities before bedtime. It's essential to maintain a cool, comfortable bedroom environment dedicated to sleep, avoiding stimulating activities in the bed. Yes, address other factors. See what else is here.
And if you scroll down to the bottom, you should see videos featuring Rune experts.
Yeah, so this is a really cool, like, very in-depth answer. Actually, I'm impressed. It's not just like sleep hygiene and then not giving you information. It's even giving specific things, like if your loved one is trying to insist on sleeping on the floor and things like that. So I think that's wonderful. And then if I keep scrolling down, I can see 5 different videos about this topic. And then also I can see related questions. So that's pretty cool too, because now it can lead you to another video. Should I use sleep medications for my person who has dementia? How do I help someone move side to side in bed? I love this. Okay, how do we make sure this isn't a fluke? Can I ask another one?
Please do.
Okay.
We love when this gets tested, and we hope to make it better over time.
Is this actually released for any person who's on the Rune app now? Can they see this, or is this okay?
The latest version of the Rune app. So if you make sure you've got the latest version, and you can do that by going to the Apple iPhone store and checking to see if the Rune app is updated. The latest version should have this feature in it.
Okay, pretty cool. All right, Arun, let's test out another question.
Yeah, please do.
What's the new treatment for Alzheimer's? I love this question because it's a little bit more timely, you know? It's like, what's on cutting edge? What do we need to know about?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay, first of all, that's like less than a fraction of a second that it took for it to pop up. That's so fast. That's quicker than Google.
That may not work the same way for everybody. It happens if that's an asked question or a common question. So we make sure that
Oh.
those common questions get a quicker response.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
So now this is very cool because I'm already seeing information about lecanemab, new drugs that are on the horizon, things that are pretty timely, new in the recent months, recent years. How is it coming up with these answers? How do we, is this like artificial intelligence? How do we know we can trust it?
that's such a great question. So Natalie, at Rune, since all of the experts, including people like yourselves, record videos, we have access to the transcripts of those videos. And so what our AI search system is doing is it's taking your question and first checking inside Rune across all the transcripts and distilling a text answer, which can sometimes involve multiple points of view. So it might say, according to, Dr. So-and-so, or it might say, Natali Edmonds also adds that. And so it tells us from the perspectives of all the Rune experts what the answer to your question is. And right below the text answer, you can find the sources from which we pulled that text answer from. So if you scroll down below that answer, you'll see all the experts that we quote.
Yes, very cool. I can see videos on what are the medication options for Alzheimer's, what is lecanemab, what new research on Alzheimer's disease are you most helpful about from a neurologist. This is really cool. So you can just click on those videos, plus again, related questions underneath.
That's right.
Yeah, I love this. So that's pretty cool because I have to be honest, I've played around with AI, for different things that's on the web. And I'm like, half the time, I'm like, this is not good. It's
Yeah,
very bad. But the fact that your AI is truly just using the experts you already have in your system and their answers and compiling it all together, it would allow me to have more trust in what it's
that's right.
saying.
I think the guardrails that are important to have on AI is to not invent things, not really look outside of the Rune corpus. So if there is a question that stumps the Rune AI, it'll say Rune does not have an answer right now. But if there is an answer that exists in all the videos that we have, it will give you a text answer that blends together what we find in the transcripts that make sense for that answer.
Very cool. Now, if it comes back and it's like, we don't have this answer right now, is it truly because the information's not on Rune, or could it be the way that it's worded?
That's such a sharp question. Yes, it can sometimes be that if you rephrase the question and be a little bit more specific, the more specific your question is, the better the chances are that we have something that matches it. So what are the treatments for Alzheimer's is quite specific, right? What are the known ways that we can at least manage some of the symptoms
Mhm.
of Alzheimer's is another way to be a bit more specific in your question, right? The vaguer you are, the less likely we are to find a close match. So asking good specific questions makes for a better possibility of a good AI answer within Rune. Now, of course, there are some cases where if the landscape is changing and something happens very, very like right at the cutting edge, we may not have enough time to record an expert talking about that, but we hope to get to that as soon as possible.
So, are you tracking the questions people are entering in so that if something is not there and you don't have it, you're finding a way to get an expert to answer it?
Yes, yes, we absolutely are. And in fact, if you don't like the answer or you want to actually get an answer from a Rune expert, one way to signal that to us is by giving us a thumbs down. And then you get a chance to actually ask that question and submit it to our backend so that we know to generate a video saying, oh, somebody just really didn't get what they wanted out of that instant answer. So it's time for us to examine that and maybe record another video that's more specific to that question.
I love that. So, in some ways, Careblazer, if you have a question and you want more information on it and you really want a good answer, put it in the ask feature of the Rune app, because even if it doesn't generate a reply back, chances are it will in the very near future generate an answer in the reply back. I love that. Yeah. It's very clear that this is not just a one and done type thing. You guys didn't just launch an app to help caregivers. You are like growing an app to continue to help caregivers and to keep up with, I mean, to be honest, dementia is a quickly changing field, especially when it comes to the treatments and testing and identification. Like, I expect to see lots of things in the very near future. So will this be a place where you expect to have a bunch of updates?
Natalie, absolutely. It
Yeah.
is the kind of dynamic app where we really want to engage with the folks that are recording videos, the experts, and say, hey, new questions have come in, or hey, new information is available. Can you record an answer here? And we really want to be right on that constantly changing landscape and watch it very carefully.
Yeah. Okay. I love it. So prior to this, learning about this AI feature, it was all just videos. You had to listen to it. Now we get to read at Careblazers, get to have more of that silent learning if that's more what you want to learn about. Also, knowing what you type gets to them so that they can come up with an answer if they don't have one already. I think this is a fantastic resource. I really appreciate what all of you are doing here to make caregiving easier and make things more simple, especially some of these really hard topics like new treatments for Alzheimer's. I mean, I see questions all the time. What's this new drug? And, I'm not the best person for that. You're going to want a neurologist. You're going to want a pharmacist. You're going to want specific experts in that field. And so I love that this resource is available for everybody. Is there anything I haven't asked that you think would be really good for Careblazers to know about?
In terms of a question on Rune,
Anything at all about Rune?
I would say that Rune is the resource that I actually wished I had when my father first received his diagnosis. Dementia is really not easy. It affects a lot of people. So, thank you right back at you too, Natalie, for all the work that you do. If we can help people by giving them answers, giving them perspectives, making them feel less lonely, that's really the job that we want to do. AI just happens to be one way that we can connect you to the videos that we already have, which may answer something that you really need answered, right? But we want to constantly watch that feature, change it, make it more adaptive, and as well as engage with experts to keep updating their perspectives. And so, that's really what Rune is about, is
Yeah.
to help you by really being on the condition.
Yeah, I love that you're here to do the interview today because it's the people behind the scenes a lot we don't get to see. And it's like, the thing that makes the thing go. Without you, this stuff doesn't really exist. And so it really helps the caregiver experience. Now, I believe most of my Careblazers watching already have Rune downloaded, but just in case there are some new people watching and they don't know, like, okay, where do I even get it? Can I get it on the laptop, the iPad, the phone? What do I do? Can you just run us through that real quick?
Yes, the app is free, completely free, and you can get it from, firstly, if you have an iOS device and want the app, you can get it from the Apple iPhone store. Just type Rune answers from doctors and you can find the Rune app.
Okay, so I have an iPhone. I love my iPhone, but a lot of people don't have an iPhone. Like, what if they have an Android device?
Our Android app is coming soon. It's not ready yet, but Android users can go to rune.com and use the mobile web, and it can use a browser on their Android device. And that's how they can access the Rune service for now, ROON.com, and create an account, log in with Dementia as the condition that you want to log in with. And you can use the same feature on the web. Android is soon, so stay tuned.
So the app is not available for Android, but if they were to open up the internet browser on their Android device and typed in rune.com, it would pop up.
That's right.
Perfect. Okay, that works.
Also, once again, completely free. So
awesome. So whatever device you have, Careblazer, however you want to do it, whether you want to download the app or do it on the web browser. I've actually done both ways. I like both ways. Sometimes I'm on my computer, so it's just nice to quick and check. But a lot of times I'm away from my computer, so having the app has been really helpful. But I really appreciate this. Careblazer, just go try it out. Think of a question you have in your mind right now that you really wish you had an answer to. How do I get my loved one to bathe? How do I get them to take medication? What do I do when they're yelling at me? Any sort of question you have, go right now, ask the question. It's at the very top of your home screen when you're there, and get an amazing answer. And if you don't have an amazing answer right away, you will really soon, because you're telling Rune what you want to hear about. So thank you again. Thank you to the entire Rune team. It's been really a pleasure working for all of you. I do not promote any other really dementia apps or anything like that. And I just really believe in what you guys are doing. So
thank you so much, Abby. That means a lot.
Sounds good. All right. Well, thank you.
Also, Nico gets a belly rub for every person who subscribes from this video. So if you haven't already, click the red subscribe button. It's totally free, and Nico says thank you very much.